Hi guys, in this video we're going to look at how to pull focus with your smartphone using Filmic Pro. At the end of this video we're going to look at why you would want to pull focus and how it's used in film. But first let's look at the features that Filmic Pro offers you to take control over your focus. Firstly, you can take advantage of Filmic Pro's automatic focus features. You also have manual focus using the arc sliders. You can use manual focus with focus peaking as well, and you get the automatic focus pull. These are features that you generally only see in dedicated cameras at the moment. If you want to get that soft blurry background on your smartphone, there's a few things to remember. Firstly, that shallow depth of field does not come naturally to small sensor cameras. The smaller your camera sensor, the less depth of field it generally has. A second characteristic of smartphones standing in your way is that the small lens of a smartphone is usually calibrated to infinity from a very short distance. To force the phone to have a shallow depth of field, subjects cannot be any less than 5 centimeters or 3 inches away from the front of the smartphone. It also helps if your background is very far away in the distance. This will also help accentuate or exaggerate the feeling of depth of field. Next, let's have a look at how you can control focus on your smartphone using Filmic Pro. Your first option is to use Filmic Pro's automatic focus solution. You control this with the white square you'll notice on the right side of the screen. With the white square you can select an area and the app will decide what should be in focus during that shot. You can also use that same square to select a part of this image you want to be in focus and then tap it. When it turns red, it means that focus will be locked at that point and won't change during your shot. Your next option is the manual focus control. Slide in from the right side of the screen to reveal the arc slider. Sliding this arc wheel up and down will bring elements in and out of focus. Another reminder, because of the nature of a small sensor like you have on your smartphone, the closer an element is to your phone and the further away the background elements are, that will really help to exaggerate the feeling of a shallow depth of field. Tapping the A until it turns red will activate the live analytics mode, where you can still pull manual focus, but now focus peaking will be enabled. Now the sharpest parts of your image will be outlined by green, assisting you to get the best possible focus. Filmic Pro also has a focus peaking overlay that drops the saturation of the image to help you judge the elements in focus better. One of the best features of Filmic Pro is that it allows you to rack focus using the automatic focus pull. Let's have a look at how that works. Move the arc slider up or down to find the point that you want to be in focus. Then tap the middle line on the arc slider. Now your focus point has been set. This is the point the app will pull focus to. Now pull the arc slider to a second point of focus or to an out of focus point. Then tap on the blacked out section of the arc and it will do an automatic focus pull to the first point that you set. Filmic Pro also allows you to control the speed of this rack focus, which you've seen me constantly playing with here. The speed is determined by increments from 1 to 10, 1 being the slowest and 10 being an almost instant rack focus. Now that you know how to pull focus on your smartphone, let's look at when and why you would use it in your film. Deep depth of field is a characteristic that's native to small camera sensors like you have on your smartphone. Deep depth of field is when the majority of your image is in focus, like you can see in this example from Citizen Kane by cinematographer Greg Toland. This can be a stylistic choice and is characteristic of the work of Emmanuel Lubezki and others. Because such a large area of the image in focus, this type of style is most conducive to shooting landscapes and wider shots where there's lots of elements that the audience needs to be able to see. In this example from Citizen Kane, blocking and movement is used to help emphasize and make it clear to the audience which character they should be paying attention in which part of the scene. The opposite is a shallow depth of field or a small depth of field. This is when a narrow area of the image is in focus. Often the background is blurred while only the subject stays in focus. Sometimes only a part of the subject like his eye. This is something that a small sensor like a smartphone doesn't natively do, but in the previous part of this video we spoke about how you can force your phone to achieve this sort of look. The depth of field is never going to be as dramatic as you see in this example from Joker that was shot on an Alexa 65, which has a massive sensor and can basically be considered the opposite of the small sensor of a smartphone. A shallow depth of field separates your subject from the background, and it steers the audience's attention to what is in focus. When shooting in a shallow depth of field, a rack focus is the technique of changing the focus during a shot. Because of the small lens, focus breathing is quite common when doing this on a smartphone. Focus breathing is when there seems to be a small amount of zoom and the subjects change size during a rack. This technique will direct the audience attention from the first thing you had in focus to the next thing that you rack focus to. This can reveal crucial detail to the audience to help them understand the story or the inner state of a character. This technique can be achieved on your smartphone by using the automatic focus pull feature of Filmic Pro that we discussed earlier. Understanding the use of focus in film and what that says to your audience is crucial to producing cinematic looking images on your smartphone. I hope this video has helped you to achieve that. Now go out and start filming.